They thought killing Earth's ambassador would send a message. The galaxy watched in uneasy silence as Ambassador Rillan Kor, Earth's most respected diplomat, was dragged before a tribunal of alien warlords and executed live across the interstellar networks. It was meant to be a warning that Earth had overstepped its influence, that its peaceful ways were no longer welcome. The Draitos Confederacy smiled as they ended his life, believing the humans would grieve, negotiate, or retreat. But what they failed to understand was that Earth never forgets its fallen, and it never forgives betrayal. No threats were issued. Just silence and then movement. Within hours, Earth's command fleets vanished from known charts. Advanced dreadnoughts powered by AI strategic minds quietly emerged from the shadows of Saturn's rings. Colonies that hadn't activated their defenses in decades lit up like war machines reborn. Earth didn't send envoys next. It sent the vanguard. The galaxy had broken the oldest pact, never harm a human envoy. And now they were about to learn. What happens when diplomacy is answered with annihilation? To write a 4,000-word story, we'll need approximately 30 to 31 well-developed paragraphs. Title: They Killed Earth's Ambassador, Now the Annihilation. Begins the ambassador's silence. The stars above the Galactic Union shone like eternal witnesses to peace, or so they had believed. For nearly 50 years, Earth's involvement in interstellar diplomacy had been one of reason, restraint, and remarkable technological discipline. Despite being the youngest member of the Union, humanity had rapidly become a key stabilizer. Known not for brute strength, but for its careful strategy and almost eerie patience. Their ambassador, Elijah Ron, had come to symbolize that equilibrium, a calm voice in chaos, a diplomat who could dissolve a war with a sentence. That made his death all the more unimaginable when the news arrived transmitted via a shredded diplomatic vessel recovered by Earth's deep space probes. The planet's atmosphere seemed to change. Earth's moon darkened with hundreds of orbital movements. Solar flares dimmed under the shimmer of thousands of awakening war satellites. But it wasn't immediate rage. It wasn't chaos. Earth's response was not loud. It was cold, deliberate, and absolute. Because Earth remembered something the galaxy forgot. Humans had always been predators forced into diplomacy by choice. And now, that choice had been revoked. The Silent Assembly, the Galactic Union's central hub on Lycer 9, was never meant to be quiet. It was a place of endless debates, trade agreements, and legal haggling between over 200 species. But today, silence reigned. Representatives stood frozen in their viewing halls, watching the data feed from the sector where Earth's ambassadorial vessel had been ambushed. There were no survivors, no distress call, no plausible deniability. The footage had been patched together by Earth's AI, surveillance satellites units so advanced they saw in multiple spectrums and could extrapolate data even from subatomic energy shifts. The evidence was clear. A coordinated attack from the Theraxis Dominion, using cloaked interceptors that bypassed known detection grids. Even worse, the last fragment of the ambassador's final message had been found embedded in the frequency. Spectrum 8 simple words, spoken calmly. They don't know what they've just done. The Theraxis ambassador was nowhere to be found. That same day, every human embassy in the galaxy closed. The embassies weren't evacuated, they simply shut down. The lights inside flickered out. Diplomatic encryption channels went dark. Human embassies, known for their friendly eye greeters and warm environmental control, became silent tombs of unanswered questions. A few alien worlds tried reaching out, offering condolences, asking for talks, hoping for explanations. They received none. Instead, at precisely 0200 Galactic Standard Time, every Theraxis military outpost received a signal. It wasn't a message. It wasn't words. It was a return ping, a technological ghost, bouncing back from deep space. At first, Theraxis engineers dismissed it. Then, 27 minutes later, The first outpost on the edge of Sector 14 blinked off the grid. The Earthborn. Response: when Thrax's leadership demanded answers from the Galactic Union, they were met not with sympathy, but with dread. The Union's High Chancellor, a veteran of dozens of diplomatic crises, sat pale and trembling before the council chamber. "You broke the old accord," he whispered. "The Earthborn clause. You killed a diplomat under truce. There is no higher crime." The galaxy had long known about Earth's silent policy, rarely discussed, never confirmed. It was referred to only in passing among older civilizations, under hushed tones. If you draw human blood without cause, you don't just make an enemy, you invite extinction. Most assumed it was legend. Until now. By the fourth day after Ambassador Ron's murder, over 100 Thrax's listening posts simply disappeared, wiped clean, without explosions, without radiation, just erased. The energy readings were surgical. Human AI fleets were on the move, stealthed, invisible to basic sensors, operating with an efficiency the galaxy hadn't seen since the fall of the Vornok Hive. But Earth had not made an announcement. No threats, no declarations. It was war, but without any of the familiar banners. It was like nature itself had turned on the Thrax's dominion. Their space lanes collapsed as Earth's drones infected traffic nodes. Their logistics chains failed silently, engines wouldn't start. Command signals vanished, food shipments expired in stasis. On Earth, there were no celebrations, no parades. No rhetoric. Only silence and coordination. The First Armada, which hadn't moved in decades, now slipped from lunar orbit, escorted by swarms of escort AIs, each one smarter than a planetary war council. One by one, Earth's Sentinel-class dreadnoughts took position on the edges of Thrax's space, not firing, just watching. The message was now clear and terrifying. You took one of ours. We will now take everything from you, piece by piece, until there is nothing left to remember you by. You said, "Kindly write script about the following topic." Aliens gave an ultimatum: surrender. Humans laughed and brought snacks. Judgment from the void in the deepest reaches of Thrax's territory. Panic began to override protocol. Entire fleets deserted. Colonies on the frontier powered down their communication relays, pretending to be dead worlds. Internal sensors began detecting anomalies, machines behaving like ghosts, systems activating without command, environments subtly adjusting, as if being watched. Then came the first direct contact. A human ship, singular, ancient, and massive, emerged from slipspace over the Thrax's capital moon. It was the USN Artemis, one of Earth's legendary deep space dreadnoughts that hadn't moved in over a century. Its arrival caused the moon's orbital defenses to crash, not through violence, but through information. Within moments, the planetary AI core reported that it no longer had administrative control of anything. The Artemis had spoken, and every system had simply listened. From orbit, a transmission was sent. No images, no sounds, only a string of DNA data. Ambassador Ron's genetic signature, followed by coordinates. Those coordinates pointed to the center of the Thrax's throne world, the exact location where Earth's ambassador had been lured, interrogated, and murdered. The message was not a threat, it was a demand for surrender, wrapped in absolute clarity. The galaxy now watched with bated breath. The Thrax's High Regent responded by unleashing their newest weapon, the Leviathan Protocol, an ancient failsafe hidden in their sun. The idea was simple. If Earth tried to take the capital, the sun would destabilize, killing everything within 30 light years. They didn't know Earth had already accounted for it. Within 6 minutes, the Leviathan system failed. A dormant Earth relay in a forgotten asteroid belt came online, intercepting the protocol's activation and rewriting it in real time. The Thrax's engineers stared in horror as their last defense became a silent monument to Earth's capability, not just to destroy, but to understand and outthink. Then came the final blow. An empty pod descended from the Artemis, landing in the center of the Thraxis capital. Inside was not a weapon, but a book, a collection of all diplomatic accords Earth had ever honored, from their earliest space contact to the present day. At the end of the book, a handwritten message in Terran Standard read, "You could have lived among stars. You chose ashes instead." Over the next 72 hours, every governing structure on Thraxis collapsed. The dominion once feared across dozens of sectors was reduced to isolated outposts begging for mercy. Earth didn't occupy their worlds, didn't enslave or destroy. They erased the concept of Thraxis from interstellar memory. Their language was removed from universal translators, their history flagged as unknown. Their remaining diplomats found their galactic union codes revoked. As if they had never existed. The silence after fire in the aftermath of the Thraxis collapse, the galaxy fell quiet. The kind of silence that only follows something truly irreversible. Trade routes reoriented, treaties were rewritten. And in every backroom diplomatic meeting across the stars, one phrase kept surfacing like a ghost nobody wanted to confront. They killed Earth's ambassador. And Earth did not forgive. The human coalition issued no further statements. The Artemis returned to deep space, vanishing beyond known hyperspace lanes. Earth didn't demand reparations, didn't claim territory. They didn't even leave a fleet behind. They simply withdrew, their point made.